this is Ana Pacheco with Santa Fe 101, and today my guest is Cheryl Shipley, and she is going to educate us all about Sierra County and the wonderful city of Truth or Consequences. Cheryl, do I have your permission to record this interview?
Yes.
Oh, good. So tell us who you're affiliated with, your experience as a realtor down in southern New Mexico, and let us know what we should do if we want to go down to live in your area.
Excellent. I'm Cheryl Shipley. I'm with Coldwell Banker Desert Lakes Realty right here out of Sierra County. Actually, our office is located in Elephant Butte. I've been here as an agent since 2011, and I've been doing real estate actually since 1992 when I started in property management. So if you're going to head down to Sierra County, you're going to see a nice, lovely desert. We're currently beautiful today, mid 65. We are on the largest body of water in New Mexico for those outside adventurous who want to be outside on the lake. And we're within a half hour to 45 minutes for any kind of hiking or camping type situation to the Gila. And if you want hiking, we've got it right in our own backyard at the Turtleback Mountain.
Well, tell us a little bit about Elephant Butte, because I've never even gone there, but I always pass that huge body of water when I'm driving down to Las Cruces. So do people can just camp there, or are there homes located? Or is there like lakefront properties? Or tell us about Elephant Butte.
Okay, so the lake itself, just so you are aware, is a dammed reservoir, and it is what dams the Rio Grande River. And so it is, there are no specific homes right on the lake because that would be Bureau land directly around the body of water. And so people are welcome to camp, not COVID time, but right now they're during a normal season camp. And we get anywhere from, during the winter, 20 to 25,000, monthly, up to our big holidays, 4th of July, get up to 100,000 people around the lake. And there's a lot of beachfront. I want to say it's about, I know it's over 20 miles long. We start up there in the Narrows, where from the Rio Grande that first comes into the lake. So you've got Monticello area, Lost Canyon, Rock Canyon, Long Point, and then you've got the main area, which is Hot Springs Landing and the main marina right here, just off Highway 195 in Elephant Butte.
And that's basically, you think it's the largest body of water. So that if you really are into boating and that type of thing, that's where you want to go in New Mexico.
Absolutely. When you come in off of Highway 79 into Elephant Butte, you've got, you're going to see we've got boats and storage units all the way down to the main marina. Boating, jet skiing, camping, anything like that is definitely what people come here for. It's great. The water's fantastic. Even when the lake's low, there's lots of boating that goes on. Right now, just so you know, there's a lot of fishing that goes on. They've got some world striper bass fishing tournaments that happen here. So it's actually pretty fantastic. If you want fishing on the river or in the lake, lots of fishing going on as well.
And you say the river, you mean the Rio Grande?
Correct. That is correct.
Okay. And so you're in Sierra County. So, but Elephant Butte, that would also encompass, I guess, like Las Cruces, Doña Ana. So what would be the counties that are kind of surrounding Elephant Butte?
So above us, just so you know, is Socorro.
Okay.
And so then we are, I think, 62 miles south of Socorro. So then you've got Elephant Butte, and right within our little community, we have Truth or Consequences, which is home of the famous River Bend and a lot of the hot springs right along the river. Our hot springs are fantastic down there. They don't smell, they're nice, different temperatures, and a great place to come and stay for a weekend or a week and enjoy the hot springs. And then south of there is what's called Williamsburg. And that is just a little community, older community. And then we go into the farming communities, which is Las Palomas, Array, Caballo, and all the way down to Hatch.
And
which,
Hatch,
of course, we know.
Is Hatch part of Doña Ana, or is it part of Sierra County?
It's a part of Doña Ana, so it's just at the very end of where we service, specifically out of our office. Of course, the largest chili capital of the world is right there in Hatch. But so we cover all the way, and then of course, south of Hatch is Las Cruces.
Right. So then again, so probably it's Sierra and Doña Ana would be the two closest counties to Elephant Butte.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And you say you've been selling real estate here for since 1992. Has it always been in Sierra County?
So it's not. I actually started just out of or during college in property management, and I started that in Rexburg, Idaho, actually. And then we were in Southern California for quite a while, and then Spokane, Washington, and then we made our way here in fall of 2010.
Okay, so you've been actually selling real estate for at least a decade now in New Mexico.
That is correct, yes.
And do you live in Truth or Consequences, or where do you actually live?
I live right here in the Butte. I love the Butte. I love Truth or Consequences as well, but the Butte is really nice. 50% of our homes in the area are either second homes or retirees. So it's a great little community.
So what's the community called then?
Elephant Butte.
Oh, so you actually can buy a home right there next to the water or close to the water.
Absolutely. Just not directly on the water, but I mean, within 500 feet to the lake, maybe 1,000 feet from the lake, you can have a piece of property.
And so you're a permanent resident there. So how many people are there just part-time?
I would say 50% of our population is second homes. So right now we average between 3,000 and 4,000 permanent residents.
Okay. And then this time of year, we're in the winter, of course. It's the month of January for those who might be watching this later on. So now in the winter, I would think it's probably busier when the warmer weather, because that's when it's really beautiful down there.
Correct. From normally starting in September through April, our retirees come in. We have several RV parks in the area. So those who don't want to camp, there's RV parks here. So they're there, as well as they, of course, come back and spend time in their home. We have beautiful weather, even though we're a little bit high desert. It's still very mild winters, which people really enjoy. So our population as a whole has increased, does increase from October to April-ish. And then of course, springtime hits and then our beachcombers come and fill in the rest of the gap.
So at your high season, what would the population be?
I think right here in the Butte, you're looking at about 6,500 to 7,000, not counting our guests. We're just talking residents that have a home.
So it's still under 10,000 for sure.
That is correct.
And
yes.
so if you live in your area, where would people do like their shopping? And I mean, would they drive to Las Cruces, or where would they go for amenities?
So right here in our town, we have a Family Dollar, which it's not the typical Family Dollar. They offer groceries and things right here in our little community. And we've got some restaurants as well right here. And then Truth or Consequences is 5 minutes away. So you just drive down Warm Springs Boulevard, take a left, and Truth or Consequences is there. We have a Walmart, and it's a super Walmart. And then we also have our hometown grocery store called Bullock's. And a lot of people like to shop there as well.
Okay. So what would the median cost of a home be in Butte versus Truth or Consequences?
So you're looking on your average home, site-built 3-bedroom, you're looking anywhere from I would say 175 to 250 would be your average home here in Elephant Butte, versus Truth or Consequences. The average home there is going to be from about 130 to 160-ish. And we do have our homes there that are in the 200,000s, but an average nice 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 15 to 17 to 2,000 square feet home, about 150 to 175,000.
And what is the housing market like right now? Do you have a lot of inventory, or where are you at right now?
So our inventory actually is fairly low compared to in the past. We were averaging 160 to 180 homes on the market, county-wise. So that would be here in Sierra County as a whole. And right now, I think this last week we had probably 85, maybe 90 homes on the market. And that would include anywhere from the single wide family homes all the way up to homes that are, 500,000. So we don't have a lot of inventory, and we're actually a little shy on inventory, but homes still seem to be moving.
And are you seeing a lot of people from out of town moving here, or what is the increase, or what do you attribute the increase to right now? Our
rural community. We're safe. We've got great weather. I met with a gentleman yesterday from Santa Fe, actually. He came here. He's like, I come here. We spend a lot of time here, especially in the winter. We just want to change. He says, I'll never sell my home in Santa Fe. He says, but we would like to have a second home. So we get people like that routinely through our office. I've sold homes from people from New York to California. El Paso is another big draw. You know, it's close enough that they can still keep their homes there and then come here as well. It's only 2 hours south of our area. So as a whole, I think people just want a slower pace. We still have whatever you need shopping wise, but we've got the recreation area that would facilitate and is huge for the southern New Mexico area.
Now, the homes in Butte, do they actually have like is there like a boat landing, or where would people keep their boats if they moved out there?
So we've got several storage units that, like I said, as you come into Elephant Butte, you'll see we've got several storage units down Highway 195 or Butte Boulevard or Warm Springs Boulevard. And so besides the storage units, there are marinas. We have 2 large marinas, and you can house your boat right on the water. We have houseboats on the water where people are living on the water. Or if you've got a smaller boat, you can dock it there and leave it right on the water. Or you can pull it out and put it in storage.
And what is the largest boat that you can accommodate out there?
I wouldn't be able to give you that information specifically. I've seen some pretty big houseboats. I mean, I would say probably 30, 40 feet easy, you know, and then you've got, you know, you add your decks and stuff on that. So I've seen some pretty large houseboats down there. And but I couldn't give you the specifics on that.
And then if you had a houseboat, like who are you paying rent to, or how do you compensate for having a house on the water to the community of Elephant Butte? How does that work?
So the gentleman that owns that is Neil Brown, and he's the one that owns both of those marinas at the main marina and then what's called Dam Site. There's a marina over there, and they do rentals, and I'm not sure the specifics. There are some casitas around the lake as well that he rents out, but specifically on the water, that would be something that you would have to reach out. Their company's name is Lago Rico, and the owner there is Neil Brown, and they've got a whole crew and staff to help you.
And you were saying that even in drought times, you can still have your boat on the water. Are we presently, I mean, how low is Elephant Butte right now? Are we in a drought down south?
It is fairly low. We didn't get a lot of rain last year, but we had a fantastic boating season. Even when you weren't able to be on the lake because of COVID, but people were able to enter at the dam site entrance, which is federal land, and able to go over there and still enjoy the water. And then, of course, once they changed that, but now, right now in wintertime, we're actually getting water down from up north. We get our water from up north, Colorado. That whole area drains all the way down here. So percentage-wise, I want to say we're at 4,300, if not 4,600, as far as how they measure the lake. It would be considered drought. It is low, but we're on our way up. And every summer we do this. The water is a storage area for the ranchers and farmers down south. So we're going to fill up, and then we're going to taper off for the winter. And then we're right now on the fill up process. So we'll enjoy, last summer, I think it was about at 50%, which is a lot of water, but we're on our way up again.
Okay. And then in terms of rural properties, tell me a little bit about what do those cost? Are they ranchettes, or what are people looking at, or what are people wanting to buy these days down in your area?
So a lot of our people still want to be in town. They really like the convenience, like right here in the Butte, 5 to 7 minutes over to Walmart. A lot of the lots in Elephant Butte, we're not a typical city lot where they're, you know, you got a 50 by 100 on a small little 1/16 or an 1/8 of an acre. You know, a lot of the homes are on at least a half acre. Some of them are smaller, but so we have space. As far as ranches or those with a little bit more land, you can just step right out of the city limits of Elephant Butte or Truth or Consequences, and they start out as little as an acre up to 5 acres, and you can get that right there in Las Palomas. That is, and they are little ranchettes. You can have your horses, you can have a couple cows, all the way up to the bigger ranches, which line the entire Sierra County. And those ranches are going to start anywhere from 300,000 all the way up to $1 million or more, depending upon how much acreage you want.
And do they have access to water, or would you have to dig a well?
Most of them, if they're obviously currently occupied, they have wells on septic, definitely being in the county. And then anything new, raw land wise, they would need to drill a well. We've got some great local well drillers who have been in the area for a very long time who know what they're doing as well.
Oh, good, because I've heard from some of these interviews that up in northern New Mexico, there aren't any well diggers, and so it's real problematic. You may have to wait a while to get somebody from another part of the state to come dig your well. But so in the area that you're in Sierra County, there seems to be plenty of well diggers, and if somebody was looking at maybe like a remote area to live in, that wouldn't be a problem.
No problem at all. We've got a couple and they're fantastic and they seem to accommodate a lot of people where we sell a lot of land. At least my clients have not experienced any kind of shortage, besides the processing for permitting processing that might delay things a little bit. They've seemed to be able to take care of their clients fairly well.
Okay. And then you mentioned the community. Is it Williamsburg?
That is correct.
And what is Williamsburg? I think I've seen it going, it's on the right-hand side, isn't it? When you're going down south, the turnoff?
There is an exit at Williamsburg. It's just a little bit of an older community. It's actually a fairly small community, but it's called the Village of Williamsburg. It's on the south side of the Elephant Butte Truth or Consequences corridor. And there's really not too much there. Our fairgrounds are right close to that. For our Sierra County Fairgrounds, we've got a huge rodeo, FFA, support the youth in their agricultural area, which is down there, which is close to Williamsburg, but there's not a whole lot of amenities.
But I mean, so people don't live there. There aren't houses. There's not a house.
There are houses. So sorry about that. Yes, there are houses. Yes, it's lined with little homes all throughout that community.
And what would something, if you were interested in a house in a small little community like that, what would something like that cost in that area?
You could very well get a home anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000.
Wow, that's really that's really.
Yeah.
Very economical, compared to Santa Fe. And are you looking at, do you have a lot of old adobe homes there, or what type of construction are you looking at down south?
So we have actually a mix of construction. We've got the older adobe homes throughout Sierra County, which are actually fantastic, by the way. You love their architecture and all those kinds of things. And then everything to the new builders that have come in, that have started building out some of these older communities. So we have the newer construction and we have the older construction as well.
And so that's not, so you also have builders in the area. If somebody was looking at some raw land, and they'd have pretty easy access to not only somebody to dig a well, but somebody to build their home.
That is correct. We've got local builders. My husband's one with Mark Talon Homes and Construction. And you also have other ones that we work with diligently that are here out of our office that take very good care of their clients.
And so what would like the turnaround, if I say I'm calling you from New York or something, and, I really I'm thinking of moving, and I settle on a piece of land, and what would be the turnaround in terms of me being handed the keys to a new home? Just kind of an idea. Would it be 2 years? Would it be 8 months? What would be kind of a?
No, on average, you can end up with one of the newer homes anywhere from 6 to 12 months.
Wow. It sounds remarkable, because here in Santa Fe, everything is like, 2 years is probably, you're doing good if it's 2 years. So that's really a fast process, a turnaround down there.
For sure. Once you get permitting and you clear the land, you can move fairly quickly, again, depending upon the size of the house. But on average, these people can come in and build a home anywhere from 6 months to a year, longer if it's a larger home.
Okay. Now I know you've been here since 2010, but what is are you familiar with the history of Truth or Consequences? I forget what it used to be called, and then they changed it to Truth or Consequences because of that game show. Do you know any of that history?
Yes, I can briefly tell you, which was very nice. There's a nice article in it, and I can actually send it to you. But so Ralph Edwards was a game show host, and he had said that he would come to the community who was willing to change their name to the show Truth or Consequences.
And so what was the community called before?
Hot Springs.
Hot Springs.
Yes.
And so that would have been in the 1950s or something?
That is correct. I want to say 70s, but it could have been 50s. Like I said, I could reference the article. But yeah, so what they did is they They voted on it. They changed their name. He then actually, until a few years ago, now I came in 2010, so I don't know how long prior to that, but he would come routinely during the first part of the May. They would have their big city event here, and he would come. They would participate in a parade. Ralph Edwards did. He would bring several movie stars and those kinds of things. So there's a park named after him. And the history behind the name is actually fairly iconic, I say. And there's been people that says we should change it back. And actually, we love the name Truth or Consequences. It's actually unique. And people are always asked, what's the story behind that?
Well, it's catchy for sure. And then what about we're running out of time here, but just quickly, what about the hot springs? I've always wanted to go down there, but tell me, are they right in the city itself?
They are downtown Truth or Consequences. There are several that line the Rio Grande River. So for example, if you want to check out one that we love is River Bend Hot Springs. They're very well known. Also the Blackstone, and there's La Paloma. There's
so they're all private.
There's several
they're all privately owned spas.
In Truth or Consequences.
Are they all privately owned?
Correct, but that is true. But also, just so you know, homeowners who buy in that area have been able to drill their own well and tap into that same hot water.
You're kidding. So that's another bonus.
That's a huge bonus.
And would you use that water what would you use that water for? If you had a hot spring under your house, what would that be? Would that just be like, instead of having heated water, or would you use it for medicinal purposes, or what would happen in that sense, in that case?
So we have people who've drilled their own well, tapped into it. They've created tubs in their own backyards to soak. Yeah, so a lot of people do use it for medicinal purposes, but I would say the number one thing is relaxation, which we all need.
Well, that's a very unique sell. Then you can actually, I'm sure there's not a lot of them available, but if you can get one of those, what a great find. You know, we're out of time for this interview, but is there anything else you want to mention, or if anybody's watching this interview about Sierra County and why they should consider buying real estate in your area?
You bet. So feel free to come on by here at Coldwell Banker Desert Lakes Realty. We have 340 days of sunshine down here. Rural, nice community. Family oriented, not too far from Spaceport America, an hour from Las Cruces, and definitely an alternate from the big city on the largest body of New Mexico, water in New Mexico, and of course, right next to the hot springs. So I think it's got a little bit for everybody.
A lot of outdoor activities for sure.
Yeah, a lot of outdoor, correct.
And just real quickly, I don't want to keep this going, but tell us about the space programmer down there. What's going to be happening down there?
So actually, this is where Spaceport America, this is where years ago, Virgin Galactic teamed up with the state of New Mexico. They built this space center out in what's close to Ingle, New Mexico, which from our community, from Truth or Consequences, you're looking at about 20 miles from here in town, approximately 20 miles. And it's where they are currently, SpaceX has been out there. They've done lots of launches. Boeing's been out there. They do a lot of launches, satellite launches, and a lot of testing ground. In the future, which we hear the near future, Richard Branson with Virgin Galactic, they are offering commercial flights for common people like you and I guess it's $250,000 a seat, but to go up to space.
Well, that would include me. $250,000 would include. I wouldn't be in that price range.
But that's what they try to put it on. But otherwise, so it's going to happen. They were doing a lot of their launching and everything out of the Mojave in California, and now they're doing it right here. So there's a lot going out there. It's a whole new world. The new frontier, it's not about.
Future. It's the future. It may not be for me, but perhaps my grandchildren. So that would be another advantage. You can soak in the hot springs, and then you can take off in space.
Absolutely. And we are the closest services to Spaceport America. So come in, enjoy one of our small town hotels. And we've got some bigger, like we have Holiday Inn Express and Comfort Inn, they're here, but you can enjoy either staying in a normal hotel or staying at one of our hot springs, lots of Airbnbs right off the edge of the Rio Grande River, and take off in space the next morning.
I like that. Well, good. Well, listen, I want to thank you, and thank you for telling us about Sierra County, and I'm definitely going to head down your way probably. Well, I'm going to wait for the pandemic to be over, of course, but
yes.
maybe summertime. How's that?
Absolutely. Come down and enjoy. We'd love to have you.
Thank you again. Take care.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.